Once upon a time, a woman ate what she wanted and she didn't feel guilty. Oh my God, in a world inundated with diet culture and food shaming and all the whole concept about what it means to eat well, guilt and shame are everywhere. And the concept of even thinking about, eating guilt-free is world-shattering. And it shouldn't be. It should be just, if we go off track, then we get to, come back on track. No guilt, no stories, no shame, no nothing. It is crazy what's put on us. And it's interesting, as a naturopath, we see that guilt, negative emotions like guilt, they change our blood chemistry from being more alkaline to more acidic faster than crap food. It's absolutely nuts. So is this a huge topic? Yes. So what do we do about it? How do we break this emotional cycle? Or at least where do we start to start building on our wins and stuff? Well, in this podcast, what I'm going to do is I'm talking about how to overcome guilt and shame and get back on track with your eating, exercise, relationships, whatever, but just in the core basics kind of way. It is a giant topic. I want to just simplify it so that you can make a start and start building on those wins. Let's go. So just think about it for a moment. Think about how many times you've felt shame or felt guilty, snuck food, told a little white lie about whether you exercised or not. How many times? I know in the past, 100%, I've done it and done it bloody heaps in my younger days. It carries so much energy. So many of us have been there. In fact, I think you'd be lucky to find people who haven't been there if they're really truthful. And what I see is that people are in this loop. We're in this loop of guilt and shame around food, around exercise, around wellness, even around relationships and stuff. Yeah, even myself, I'm on my 5th relationship, and I've had 4 long-term relationships, 2 of them for over a decade. And I had shame around the fact that, I hadn't been able to make relationships work. There's so much around this. I really did. So I'm all about people getting professional help and all those kind of things. That's not what we're talking about today. I want to talk about what are some, just a handful of core things that you can do that are going to help you come back on track, whether it is with your eating or in your exercise or whatever, even just approaching a relationship in a healthy way. I know some people are going to go, no, it's too simple, Jen. It's a place to start, because I know for me, I've been so in my head in the past around things like shame that it's like it has stopped me. It's absolutely immobilized me from even starting. So I just want to get people starting again, because then we can build on that and keep you going. So let's think about it. We know that society pressures, family pressures for me, unrealistic expectations on myself, from other people around me. It's huge. And from a young age, where we're just bombarded. And I think we're bombarded even more now because of things like social media. Life is just in our faces constantly, way more than it was when I was a kid. So it's all part of why there's so many mental health challenges today. So we've had this concept that there's these rigid rules that we have to stick to, and if we can't stick to them 100% of the time, we've failed in some way. You should feel shame and guilt and all that kind of stuff. And I know, as a naturopath, I studied, I know the foods that will add value to my health and to people's health, and I know the ones that will take away from their health. So what a lot of people don't realize or don't understand is that, I did naturopathic clinic full time for 10 years. I've been graduated, over 30 years. I left clinic because I got really frustrated that I could only help those few people who will just get past all the shit in their head and say, hey, I need help. Because I knew for myself, whether it was my ego or that sense of shame or whatever, when I was younger, I wouldn't go asking for help. And so I left clinic because I thought, look, if I can help people with the core basics, the absolute core basics, whether it is with exercise or whether it's with nutrition or relationships or whatever. And no, I'm not a relationship coach, but I'm a kinesiologist. I've worked a lot with emotions and things with people and how they trap in our bodies. But I left clinic and decided to become a professional speaker and an author and share what these kind of core basics are so people can just start, and then we can build on it and build on it and build on it and start to flourish again. So what I know is that 80% of the time, not 80% of the time, yeah, 80% of the time, if we can get 80% of things right, the rest works. And I remember when I was there was one of my great teachers, Dorothy Hall. She taught me iridology. She was one of my teachers for iridology and herbal medicine. Fucking cool woman, super cool woman down on the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. And I remember saying to her, it's 90-10. She said, 90-10? It's not 90-10, it's 80-20. Why would you stress someone out trying to be good 90% of the time? 80%. If we can get people right 80% of the time, the rest takes care of itself. I went, okay, cool. I'm good. Because my brain was like, oh, 90 to 100. I was that perfectionist. I really was, which is all why I burned out, blah, blah. Anyway, so where do we start? We know, well, you mightn't know, but we can just break one little cog in that loop. Okay, so instead of one of the easiest ones is to change the default. Okay, so if you're off track, say you're halfway through a packet of Tim Tams and you notice that you're halfway through a Tim Tams, and your old default is that you notice you're halfway through the packet of Tim Tams and you go, oh, I'm halfway through the packet of Tim Tams, shame, guilt, just loading it all on. This big conversation goes on in your head, which makes you feel worse. And you just think, well, I might as well finish the rest of the packet. What if that's your old default? It was my old default. And part of that for me came out of that generation that you ate everything that was in front of you because you couldn't waste a thing. It was, it added to my addictions. Anyway, so imagine the alternative is you're halfway through a packet of Tim Tams and you notice you're halfway through a packet of Tim Tams, because you'll notice, and instead of having that old default, which is, all the blaming and the shame and guilt, what if you just go, hey, how cool, I actually noticed. And I love myself enough to put this away. That's it. I love myself to put it away. If you do that, or each time you do that, you rewire a firing in your brain. And neuroplasticity is real. It's like we can literally rewire our brain. We can learn anything different. We can create totally new defaults in our brain so that when we come up against the same obstacle again, consistently as you do that, again, even 80% of the time, you rewire it. And eventually you get to the point that it's not even a conscious thought. You'll, go to start eating some Tim Tams, and instead of devouring a pack like you did in the past, you'll go, I love myself to put these away. We create a new default. And that's what it's about. So I start with that 80-20 rule, and I be gentle with myself, and I get people to be gentle with themselves. Okay. So beating ourselves up will not work. All it's ever going to do is make us feel worse. And that, like I said, when we run those negative emotions, it changes our body chemistry to being more acidic than more alkaline, totally throws us off. It's just not cool. So what do? Simple. Off track, back on track. That's it. No story, no justifying, no blaming, no nothing in your head. It's just, wow, how cool. I actually noticed I was off track. Cast it aside. I love myself to do that. And now I'll go and eat something, or I'll go for a walk around eat something healthier. I'll go for a walk around the block, or I'll do something like that. Just be gentle with yourself in the way you break it. And at first it might be that you're doing 20% crap and 80% good, or, 20% exercise and 80% not moving your body. Whatever it is, you'll gradually start to move it around. And I know you would not speak to someone else in the tone and manner that you do to yourself if you knew where they were at. You just wouldn't. You would be caring, and you'd be nurturing, and you'd be gentle, and you'd be supportive. You'd say, come on, let's do this. We can do this. I know you would. It's human nature. It's built into us that we want to help other people. Guess what? It's time to help ourselves. It is. So instead of criticizing ourselves, offer yourself that same love and support that you would give to a friend in the same situation. And just Just go, yeah, that's it. So next time you notice something like that's going on, stop, breathe, go, yeah, I love myself enough to do that. Speak to yourself like you'd speak to someone else, and just start and celebrate every damn little win. When you do that, and you don't celebrate it by eating something else. You celebrate by going, yes, like what's a little emotional treat that you can give yourself that's going to give a dopamine hit, whether it's going and sharing that with someone that, that cares for you, you know, because part of this is asking for help. And I know how hard it is to ask for help. I had so much trouble. My biggest life lesson has been learning how to ask for help. It's emotionally draining thinking about it. It takes a lot of energy for me. In the past, it's taken a lot of energy. And I'm getting better and better and better at it, as I age, which is great. So I have so much respect for people who will celebrate their wins, who will have the courage to say, Jen, fuck, I'm struggling. Be it a family member, a friend, a healthcare professional, something like that. If you want to get professional help, go for it. But someone who's got your back, that you can say, hey, I did it. I did it. I stopped. And they'll go, yeah, excellent. Go. Hey, you got this. Let's keep going. And you want someone who's going to cheer you on in those tough times. So celebrate the little wins with someone. It's a level of accountability. Share with them. This is where I've been. This is where I want to be. Okay. And how do you have the courage? I just feel it in my body. How do you have the courage or tap into the courage to actually say to someone, you know what? It's time. It's time for me to really get my life on track, and I need some support. Can I come to you to celebrate my wins? Can I come to you? And you're gonna have to take a big breath, probably. If I think about how I did it, first started really working, which is 20 odd years ago, I learned the concept. I know it's crazy, isn't it? I was about 40. I learned the concept of how to ask for help. Crazy, but I did. And I've gotten better at it over time. But it was explained to me to ask for help by reinforcing the positives, not the negatives. So instead of saying, hey, can I reach out to you every time I go off track? It's like, hey, can I reach out to you to help celebrate my wins? Okay. And a win at first might even only be because, like, I was an alcoholic. I got sober at 26. So I've been through that break addiction, the alcohol kind of addiction thing. And it's just it's a journey, and it takes huge courage. But it was explained to me, which is the way I do it, and the way I share now. I'm sorry, I'm kind of stumbling a bit. I want to word it simply for you. But you want to focus on, I found it's worked best for me to focus on the positives, not on the negatives. So instead of going, hey, can I reach out to you, if I'm really struggling, or if I've, just devoured a packet of Tim Tams or something, and turn it around to say, hey, can I reach out to you as I have the courage to reach out to you? I just want someone to be in my corner to help support me. Are you up for that? I promise. We're service-orientated beings. We love to help people. You speak from your heart. They'll feel how hard that is for you. They'll be there. And then eventually it'll be things like, hey, is it cool if I want to celebrate my win? And it'll be like, hey, I went a whole day today without eating crap. I went a whole day today just loving on myself. I went for a whole day today not feeling guilty. I went for a whole day today not blaming anything else, just looking after me. I went for a whole day today not feeling shame. I went for a whole day today actually just doing what I said I'd do. Little things like that are earth-shattering. But if we can do that and focus on those positives the majority of the time, okay? We're not looking for 100% fucking perfect. That doesn't work. It's too much for my, it is. I want people to have sustainable change in their life. Shoot for 80%. Okay. There'll be sometimes you'll go to there and you think, oh, I just can't do it. Can't ring them. I can't ring them, or I can't message them or something. And there'll be other times that you can. And we're going to just celebrate those times. It's so important. Celebrate what you want more of in life, not celebrate what you don't want in life. that little tweak in language is actually incredibly powerful. So 80% of the time, let's do it. Let's get you moving forward and embracing life, not just eating, guilt-free and shame-free. It is a big topic, and yes, there's a ton to it, and we just need to make a start. Let's make a start. I really look forward to supporting you on this one. See ya.